Hello. Right, I've only got literally a couple of minutes left because it's quite dark. So here we go. The screen's done, and the path around the oil tank. So that's all hidden now. The trusses for this thing have turned up. They're in here. Ta-da! There's 14 of them. 4 meters across. Nice pointy bits to go up there. So we'll probably get those done in the next few days, maybe. I'll show you what the screen looks like around the corner. This is the back of the screen. See, my point is to hide all of that junk. Just ignore all the sort of random bits of wood currently like this. They're just there to keep it in situ before I put up some other beams, and a couple of beams just here. Beams, posts, a couple of posts up. Perhaps going to build something across here. From here to here is roughly about 7 foot. And if I was to keep on going to about 10 foot, so across here, from that post at an angle down to about there. Just about there. Put post there, post there, post there, post there, and that gives me 10 foot between like the edge of that one and that post, with this post and that post. And then I've got some 10 foot corrugated panels that which will slope down that way, and then water will drop off the edge onto this thing, which is the septic tankers under there. That's the old pool table that we found lying around. That's the base, which is incredibly heavy. I think it's like synthetic slate or something. I don't think it's like that stuff. I think it's just compounded. I have no idea what I'm talking about. It's probably like epoxy and like ground slate all mixed together. Anyway, look, this point of this is to hide all of this junk. So now this stuff here can all migrate into here. So let's say we take the that shed thing, which we no longer use. So what I was going to do is just stick it here and put my, I don't know, like gardening, like car brushes or stuff for cleaning the car. All of this stuff here, we need to bind it up, probably maybe stick it on the end of the shed there, or actually in this space, because we're not likely to use this path through here. It's just there. So the next thoughts are all about just building some sort of cover here. Then we can take the bins, the barbecue, the shed thing, all of this. We want to clear it. That's the point. And then we can have another discussion about, I really like the idea, right, of having like walkways here. Not like this was just a test. Having like a walkway, and above it 2 beams, and the top bit like a pergola. Like, imagine, like, see this, like that, just like that across here, going down that way. And then we can grow things across the top of it. Kate hates the idea because we'd get lots of spidery things dangling down, but I like the idea of having some sort of, not necessarily a cover, but a guided walkway along here. And I had a brilliant idea, which means it will never happen. There's the posts there that I've prepared to go in around the corner. I've had the idea. So we get a lot of the prevailing wind is from down that way, over there, going this way. So we're screened a lot by the cliff. So what I thought is actually put some posts again here, like the stuff just behind me, the wooden 4x4s, along here, and put some feather edge on like we've done around the side. And then the wind coming down this way will be deflected, not oblique, right across this gap, but an angle. And the point of that, if I step back, the point of having this angled bit here, it's a little bit more resistant to wind. And by the time we come out to, by the time we come out to here, the wind will be obviously out this way. Am I making any sense at all? And it will protect whatever structure we put in here, which is going to be about that big, 8 by 4 meters. So that's 6 by 3.5. 6, 3.5. We want to go 8 meters by about 3.75. Just under 4 meters, or maybe let's just say 4 meters, and then we'll put thick walls in to keep it within permitted development. Right, so lots of things going on. as ever, we've got another week of nice weather, look, which is good. All this has been cleared. This is scalpings that's been put down here, which means really strong. It's all wet at the moment, but it's going to dry out and it's going to go this colour, I suppose. This colour, light grey. When it dries out, I've got to fix that thingy. Starter broke on it, parts just arrived. That one completely broke it. Drive shaft, that's up in the workshop up there. My digger's down there, just been fixed. Got this digger for the moment from my next door neighbour, who's been very kind to let me have it. So walking up this slope, okay, once this exposed, she wants a rock face exposed, all of this is to go, all of that. So we dug it all out and flipped it over just to really see what's there. It's all going to go somewhere, we don't know where. Worst case is it goes that way. Right, this has been shaped a little bit on the left to allow to all these stones here to come out. So if I go up here and just look back down, there's a bit of a curve here. So it's as purdy as you can get, horrible stones like that. But it means we've got a little bit of a snaky thing going on there. Right, a quick glance at this. This was very sketchy with the digger because it's got a longer arm. I've got the digger right up here. Managed to hack into this face here. There's not much left of this mound. I think we're over halfway through it here. So it's like a third, if you like. So this dimension has been reduced down to about a third of it. So I'm hoping either that can fall down, I don't really care, or this bit here can come this way. The bit I do want to clear, I've got my makeshift steps. Oh gosh. We'll talk about stones as well another day. I've been looking at a rock crusher because you've got so much stuff. So once you get past just here, it goes down again. So this section here is raised, but it goes up and then down. Up here, down. So that's sort of hollowed out. So the idea is take out all of that there, rip it out. So there's the rock face just behind it. We want to clear this and make an access here. So we're actually not far off getting access to it. If I can just manhandle this stuff out of the way here, which you know, it's easy with a digger, but by hand, all of this stuff I'm stood on, it's hard work. It's very, very hard work, but I've got a week to do it. See, look, this is once you get this stuff in place, it doesn't move very far. You know, whatever it is, 3-ton digger here goes on this stuff, and this doesn't really move, so it locks together quite nicely. So let's call it the eagle's nest. It's not really an eagle, it's more like a pigeon, but yeah, we're going to hollow out that there. There's a bench down by the front door that I bought off of eBay, and that bench ultimately is going to go up there with like a viewing area that way. I don't know why, but why not? Because we've got a nice view, which is why we also need to tidy up all of this. And the more that we do to this and shape it and kind of craft it into something and manage it, the more pleasurable it will be when you go up here and just sit and watch the sun go down, which, you know, I'm never going to do because I never get time. But at least if we choose to, we can. Right, the woods are very dark at the moment. So this week, chainsaws are ready. I need to come up this week, mark all the trees. If I zoom up, there, look. So that's a ash dieback on that tree there. So this tree here, it needs to have some tape put around it to highlight it because that's definitely dead. There's one up behind it which is dead as well. When all the leaves come off, you won't be able to see the dead trees from the good trees with no leaves. And you know, I can see right through there. Right through there, there's some more. So I need to walk around, staring up in the air, highlight all the ones that got ash dieback. Then I need to find some chunky monkey trees which have got a lot of canopy. And the point of that is I want to say punch, there's another dead one through there. I want that light to come through. It's so dark. Watch this. I'll turn 90 degrees to the right. Ready? Does that make the point? Right. It's probably impossible to see here, but what I've done is there's a cat. I wonder what that was then. I've made it twisty turny. So I bought stuff on the left. In fact, the bit I'm stood on here. Hey? What? What's the matter? What did you see? Woogles? Oh no. Is there woogles? Huh? Oh dear. Right. So where I'm stood, I've put a little mound here. And here, this is, the track has been curved like that now. And then I've come back in. And then I've come out. And in and out. The idea is, here, we've chucked loads of wild seeds. And maybe even some grass seeds, I don't know yet. Here, wild seeds. Here, wild seeds. There, wild seeds. Wild seeds. Get it? What we'll end up with is a wibbly wobbly path. Isn't that right? Is it? Yeah, it is. You tell them. Oh, hello. Jesus. Stealth cat. No fighting. Come on. They want to go for a walk. I'm not going for a walk. It's too dark. I'll die. Oh, jeez. A little gully across here, which is never going to be visible on camera, is it? Oh my gosh. Anyway, just dug a little tiny ditch in just there. And what I want to do is when we get a lot of rain, I want to know, because we are going to get a lot of rain being in Wales, I want to know how the water is, how it moves. My guess is wherever I've got mud and stones compacted in, which is what I've got now, because I've taken it from here, put it back over here, I think all the mud is going to wash away. And I don't know where it's going to go. Now, logically, downhill. When we came to see this house, this track that I'm walking on now, we walked up in it, and it was about half an inch or an inch deep in water. We were walking up a river as we walked up here to go and explore the woods. When we walked back down, about 20 minutes later, there was no water running. So I'm kind of thinking like, well, okay, so there's water running, so it's either massively saturated or, well, it is, I think, because there's not an awful, I was just about to say there's not much in terms of mud here on top of the bedrock, but unfortunately right next to me there's about 5 foot of mud before the bedrock. But whatever, the water runs off really quick. I think that's just indicative of Wales. So down the bottom is a stream, a little tiny river. I think it might be the River Tivy, I'll get corrected. That might be the bigger river over there, I don't know. But water definitely builds up there really quickly. So I don't really understand how water moves here, but all of this stuff I suspect is going to get washed away, the muddy stuff. And that's what we've seen on the driveway with the rain that we had last week. So, all a bit of a experiment going on. Fixed my digger today. That wasn't too bad. Again, in love with that thing. The Kubota, geez. JCB that I've got, made in the UK. Well, yeah, no comment. This Kubota, Japanese presumably, sounds like it. Built really, really well. So admittedly, it's twice the size of mine, but it's just the build quality. It's just typical Japanese stuff. Yeah, really good, quite inspiring. I'm sorry, we're not going for a walk now. Quick update. Right, so the trusses are there. We've got a few bits missing, which I'm going to send on. These are the, what's the word for these? Braces. These go up in the trusses, if you like. They go up and like crisscross up here. And it gives it some structural strength up there. Oh, and the rest of it is just underneath that little pile there, all the trusses. So I need to get all the trusses. I'll show you what I've done. I've sprayed it up. I've got bedliner paint, which is a real tough black paint, and where I could access the metal. See this is nice stuff. So that's what it looks like. And I've just sprayed a bit of black paint on it, so it looks like that. So next, what I'm going to spray all the bits of metal black. And it's this matte black colour as well. And then I take each one of those bits of wood and I take them in there and we paint them. So like these posts, not painting, it's stained, sorry, it's creosote, and I love the stuff. So all of those need to be protected, because the reason they're covered up is because they're not tunnelized. They're kind of, vulnerable at the moment. So once they get stained and painted that colour, the black won't be as obvious as it looks right now. But I don't care if it is, because all you'll see if you look up now, if you imagine looking up into the roof space underneath the carport, rather than seeing something wood with shiny metal, which is going to look cack, you'll see dark stained wood like this, and then those metal things will have been blackened. So even if you look for them, you'll see them, but your eye won't be drawn to them. So a bit of preparation, like I do with all of this. Prepare all the wood first. I'll show you this view from the front again, because I'm quite pleased with this. It's been a long time coming to cover up the oil thing. I'm very, 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 very happy with this, just because it acts as a fantastic screen. So extending that same thing of the dark wood, because this will fade. All of this derail here, all of this has been treated in the same stuff. This is the first batch, which was done perhaps a month earlier than this. I don't know if it's very visible, but I think that's darker than that. So it changes colour, I suppose, depending on the wood a little bit, but there we go. So we've got a roof coming in. We've got to decide now is composite tiles like that. What's next? Cedar shingles, which are really expensive, about £4,000 to have cedar shingles put on there. The last choice is metal shingles, and I don't know what to do. I had one suggestion today, is to put composite tiles on the front of this, remembering it's a triangle, and then on the back actually put some corrugated, sort of squared off metal sheets, because you'll never see them. I mean, you're hardly going to see them from the side. It will just look like an edge. You won't see it. So it's really just about presenting the front to be similar to this. But I do like the fact you can't see what's going on around there. Very pleased. Oil tank has disappeared. Progress. Maybe this weekend I've got to go and change. There's an armoured cable around here for electricity, and that's going to give power to the carport I've just walked under and the grapevine. So see this cable here? This is a 4mm cable that has come straight from that extra consumer unit, which is inside that box there. And I need to bring it along here, just cut it into the ground. I need to chisel out along here. And then what I can possibly do is move that. Maybe down here somewhere, so I just follow along this edge, put it here, go straight through here, inside the shed, put a double socket in there. We come out of that same junction there, we carry on going, and then we head towards the carport here somewhere, maybe put something here, and then we have some wires that go up, across, maybe like a, so I'd actually be underneath the roof now, so we could put a couple of switches here. Then have a couple of lights maybe. It would be best, probably best to put it at the end there, I think, facing back towards me, and the same above my head here. So the theory is, if you drive in, you can have PIR lights, but they're not shining straight at the car. As long as it can see the car, have a nice sort of downlight effect here, so you're not driving into bright lights. Right. What else? So I've got power to here and to the carport above me, and then we go down and across here somewhere. I can put it underneath this gravel armoured cable really easy. I've got about 20 meters of 1mm cable, which is fine for lighting. And then somehow I need to cut into the ground here, only about a slot like that, just enough for a cable, like you just saw, the size of my thumb, just to drop down and sink. Once it's down about that far under the ground here, because this is so solid, if I can get a cable down that far, that's fine, it's protected. And then we go right across here, and we'll put either a post in here somewhere, I don't know, I'm making this up, you know, stick a post in there, and put another outside socket, and maybe feed some, again, some sort of PIR driven LEDs, like 20 watt or something, facing this way and this way. Never straight at the cars, which are coming up the drive. Look at that sky, it's pretty. So it's just about getting a decent supply out here. I had suggested today that what I do is put a post in the ground here, maybe 2 posts here. Nice 8-foot jobs, which is similar to these. And you can get solar. So they have a solar panel on it. It has you know, a battery in it, and it has 2 LED bulbs. I can hear a cat meowing. Anyway, why do you do that? Look where your tail is. There. Oh. Right, anyway, solar powered driven lights out here. That's how I'm going to go and research, see how much they cost. Apparently it's like, well, they only cost 50 quid, really? With a lithium ion battery. I think, okay, well, might be worth checking it, because like a 10 watt. Oh, look, the lights are starting. Okay. So what should happen, you know, if they're not ready yet. Oh, that one's ready. Yep. Love it. No, it's not quite dark enough. Anyway, let's turn them on and off all night. Right, I'm going in. Let's have a look at the sky before we go. There we go. Right then, later taters.